What's up, everyone? Mr. NoobTube Gamer, giving you guys another Call of Duty World at War gameplay commentary. Today we're playing Zombies on Deris. Yeah, I usually don't do Zombies gameplays on my channel. It's mostly multiplayer, but I figured I'd change things up a little bit. And we are in the month of October, so it's very fitting to have some Zombies content on the channel. This gameplay was recorded a few weeks ago. I was playing with a few of my friends on Discord that are part of the Classic COD Discord server, where we play pretty much every COD online, from Call of Duty 1 to Black Ops 4. There are a couple of us that play Modern Warfare and Cold War, but it's mostly the older games. And we play a variety of different game modes. We do multiplayer most of the time, but it's also zombies, as you can see in the gameplay, and we even do Spec Ops. So if you're interested in a server like that, the link is in the description. Check it out. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about Call of Duty Vanguard and whether or not we should expect Call of Duty to continue support on the old gen systems, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, because now we're in the new generation of consoles with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X that eventually will completely phase out the older consoles, because that's how console generations work. And if you look back at our history with Call of Duty and new generations of systems, it usually doesn't take very long before Call of Duty abandons the old systems in favor of the new ones. So if you look at the 6th generation to the 7th gen, which was the first transition period in COD history, because Call of Duty came out in 2003, the Xbox 360 and PS3 came out in 2005 and 2006, and Call of Duty 3, which I believe was a launch title for the PlayStation 3, would end up being the last game on the PlayStation 2 and original Xbox. So not even a year into the 7th generation, the 6th generation was already gone for Call of Duty. We're not going to count World at War Final Fronts on PS2, which came out in 2008, because let's just pretend that game did not exist. I think that would be better for everybody if we did that. And let's also try to forget that there was a PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 version of Call of Duty Black Ops 3 in 2015, 2 years after the release of the PS4 and Xbox One. But at that point, you can tell that the old consoles just could not keep up with modern Call of Duty, which is why we didn't get a PS2 version of COD 4, but somehow we got a PS3 version of Black Ops 3, and people still consider it to be one of the worst ports in all of video game history. It's pretty fucking bad. COD Ghost was a pretty good port, and Advanced Warfare was also a good port, but Black Ops 3, ugh. You were better off not playing it at all than to have it on last gen. So historically, the COD series has seen 1 to 2 years of support for the old consoles after the release of the new ones. So if we just go off of that, either Vanguard is the last COD on PS4 and Xbox One, or it's Modern Warfare 2, the sequel to Modern Warfare 2019, coming out next year. But maybe we don't want another year of COD support on PS4 and Xbox One due to how awful Black Ops 3 was on PS3 and 360, because at that time those consoles just couldn't handle the new games, and I think the same thing will be true with Modern Warfare 2. We already see it with Vanguard. That game is having serious performance issues on the base model PS4 and Xbox One, not being able to hold a steady 60 FPS. It usually fluctuates between 40 and 60, so it really doesn't run that well on the older consoles. And I can imagine that with next year's Call of Duty, if they decide to release a PS4 and Xbox One version, it's going to be even worse. It's probably going to be on the same level as Black Ops 3 on PS3. I think at the very best, what you should expect for a PS4 version of Modern Warfare 2 is that they're going to cut the campaign and certain game modes and give you less of a game than what you would get on the new consoles. Kind of like how Black Ops 3 did not have a single player campaign on the PS3 and 360, and most of the DLC and zombies content was also not released on the last gen version of Black Ops 3, and the PS3 and 360 version of COD Ghost did not have Ground War, even though it was in the PS4 and Xbox One version. I am impressed. I will say I'm impressed that Vanguard is able to have these large player modes, like the 32 player, 48 player modes. The PS4 and Xbox One versions actually support the larger player counts, which is great. So we're not at the point yet where it's like, oh man, like we really can't have these games on the old consoles anymore, because they just can't handle them at all. But we are going to get there very soon. Eventually, the old consoles will become completely obsolete, not just with Call of Duty, but all games, because that's how it's got to be in order for games to continue to innovate and reach their highest potential. So eventually, we have to move on from the older technology. And I asked you guys in one of my channel polls, will Vanguard be the final Call of Duty release on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? 72% say yes, 28% no. So it's a clear majority of people that do believe that Vanguard will be the last COD that we'll see for the last gen consoles. But I am not entirely sure if that's what's actually going to happen, if Vanguard is actually going to be the last Call of Duty for the older systems, because right now we're experiencing a huge global chip shortage that is affecting a wide variety of different technology industries, including the gaming industry. It's why the PC gaming market is so shit right now. Everything is so expensive because supply is limited even though demand is high. So the prices keep going up, And as far as the PS5 and Xbox Series X are concerned, they can't keep up with the demand. They don't have enough parts to make consoles for everybody. That's why a year later, people are still hunting for PS5s, because there just isn't enough to go around. That's been keeping the adoption rate pretty low for these new consoles, because most of the people that want one can't get one. And it would be one thing if it was looking like the chip shortage was going to end anytime soon, but the fact that analysts are now saying, oh, this shortage might last until 2023, that has some pretty serious implications for the future of the gaming industry and also the success of the 9th generation. I think the only thing that these companies can realistically do is just continue supporting the old consoles that people already have, like the PlayStation 4, which at this point has sold about 120 million units worldwide. You know how much the PS5 is sold right now? Only 10 million as of July. And of course, a year from now, the number will be higher. Maybe it'll be 20 million if we're at the current rate that we're going at with the chip shortage. 25 million units sold is the best that the PS5 is going to be able to do. And the reason why that matters as it relates to this conversation about how long the PS4 and Xbox One are going to be supported with Call of Duty is that Activision wants to make as much money as they possibly can. I mean, they demonstrated this over the years with their loot boxes and DLC and battle passes. Like, they want to monetize their games as much as they possibly can and make the most amount of profit that they possibly can. That's why COD continues to be milked to death. That's why every single Activision developer is now working on Call of Duty. They are milking the fuck out of COD so that they can get every last penny out of the series. And they won't be able to do that if Modern Warfare 2 in 2022 gets a PlayStation 5 and Series X exclusive release. If it's not on PS4 and Xbox One, they're not going to make even half the amount of money that they would if they released it on current gen and last gen. Just put this into context, okay? We had Call of Duty World War II, which came out in 2017 and sold 14 million copies on the PlayStation 4 alone. And with Modern Warfare 2019, there's no data that shows exactly how many copies were sold, but it is the best-selling COD of all time, at least according to Activision, so it's even more copies that were sold on PS4 than World War II. Modern Warfare probably sold somewhere between 15 and 20 million copies just on the PS4. So if the PS5 only has like 25 million users worldwide by the time MW2 comes out, obviously not everyone that has a PS5 is gonna buy Modern Warfare 2. So if it was PS5 and Series X only, Modern Warfare 2 would sell much less than the previous game. I think 7 to 8 million copies would be Activision's best case scenario if Modern Warfare was exclusive to next gen. And of course there's Xbox Series X, which would sell a little bit, but it would still be much less than the success they had previously. I just don't see Activision leaving all that money on the table. I think they're going to stick with the older consoles as long as they possibly can, even if they have to cut a lot of corners to do that and release an inferior port like they did with Black Ops 3 on PS3 and 360. And I think you can expect to see that for most companies for at least the next 2 or so years. The 8th gen consoles are not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm sure a lot of you are hoping that my prediction does not turn out to be true, because that means that most of these games won't be as good as they can be if they're still being held back by the old hardware. But I think that's exactly what's going to happen. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think that my prediction is going to actually turn out to be true? Or do you think that Vanguard will in fact be the final COD on 8th gen systems, and that we'll be moving on to the new generation sooner rather than later? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.